All right, hello physical science students. This is Mr. Barry, physical science teacher at SCORE Academy. I'm here to walk y'all through today some tips and tricks and the easiest way to kind of get through Custom 1 that is on balancing equations and naming products. Just know that it can be tough sometimes to figure out exactly what you need to do in all the parts, so this should hopefully help out in a quick video, get you to where you need to be. So first, you're going to get your own copy of it right here. You don't really need to worry about the standards. That's more for us as the educators that put it together. Please always make sure you're reading directions. So you're going to respond with the orange text. This first part right here, an introduction, is going to have you watch the video, right? So you'll pull that up and, and watch through the video over here. There's usually some more suggestions on the right here. If you ever need a couple more that are similar, you can always kind of use that whenever you're on YouTube. But that'll get you through these 3 questions right here. So you're watching it. They are in order. You can just go right here and say, whatever your response is after you watch the video. Okay? The next part 1, you're going to actually do some balancing of chemical equations. We're going to open the PhET simulation. Again, always make sure you're reading the instructions to make sure you're doing the right part. Okay? It'll just save you time in the long run. We're going to do the introduction portion. And there's an intro right here that kind of shows you exactly what's going on. Right? So that's what that introduction portion is right there, to make ammonia. We're actually going to complete level 1 and fill in this table as we complete level 1 on the game. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay? So we're going to use the link right here. We're going to open that up. It's going to look like this. The introduction is what that first line was. The game, level 1, is what we're going to complete. Okay? And as we go through here, I add some amount of each of these different molecules, and my job is to make sure they're balanced. And this is great because it gives you the visual, and you see we're not balanced right here because I got 2 green and 2 white on the right and 1 of each over here. So I'm going to add another, and then I can check it and see that I'm correct right here, okay? So 2HCl equals H2 plus, and I know it's hard to see, 1Cl2 right there, okay? So when I go back and I'm writing this in, I would say, I'm going to check back just to make sure I do this correctly, HCl equals, it was just H2 plus Cl2, correct? Yes. H2 plus Cl2. And please make sure you're putting in the equals and the plus there. That's really important. And we also need to say whether it's synthesis or decomposition right here. Since it's one that breaks down to 2 other ones added together, it's going to be decomposition. And so that's one of the lines for you there. You're going to fill in the rest of the table by doing the same thing. Okay? Moving on to part 2. There is a folder here that has both info on metals and nonmetals and rules for naming the sheet. But really, a rules for naming sheet as far as ionic and covalent compounds. We're going to fill in the blanks in this table now as well. You can jump to that folder if you want to. There's your metals, nonmetals, metalloids, right? Shows you which ones are which, so that you know that right there. And then also rules for naming. This goes back through the rules for how to name these. And so you've got those rules accessible to you as well. And that's stuff that's already been covered in your class at this point. Okay? So things I need to realize, hydrogen iodide. First thing I'm going to say is those are 2 nonmetals. And so I got to remember over here for this column, 2 nonmetals make a covalent bond. And so I would put that right in there. And hydrogen and iodide together are just going to be HI. 1 of each is going to give me that overall 0 charge, and that's what I'm looking for. And now I've got 1 of those done. You can always refer to either of these if you need it, but that's how we're going to fill that in. Okay? And the very last part down here, this is asking about naming practices like within your family and through your heritage. It's important that you get kind of a cultural piece and a relevance piece to a lot of these assignments. So that's what I'm looking for here. There's 2 ways you can do this. 1, you can give me a summary of the naming practices within your family. Maybe a lot of people have similar names. Maybe you have the middle name of an aunt or an uncle. Maybe when families unite as marriage happens throughout your family history, you have hyphenated last names, whatever it might be. Tell me about how names are formed within your family, okay? If nothing comes to mind for that, then here's what I'd like you to do, is think about what you might do one day when you have a child. Or if you do have a child already, how did you come up with your name for your child? Okay? There's no wrong answer so long as you're hitting this 3 to 4 sentence summary here and explaining how some naming practices within your family work. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that helps you complete this assignment. Have a great day.